So I just finished watching one of my videos that I posted like, I don't know, what was it, 2, 3, maybe 4 months ago now. Um, it was about like my take on what I feel like is so messed up about most people's perception of like masculinity in the modern world, and how I think like you have two opposite ends that are just both really extreme and both really stupid and just not grounded in anything that I feel like a truly masculine man would embody. Um, just a bit of a critique of like uh, both of those sides and basically presenting like a middle ground. Whatever, the topic of the video doesn't matter. But I was watching it and I was like, I finished the video and I literally closed my laptop and I sat there, I was like, that was so aligned. It was the sentence that just came out of my mouth, like supernaturally. That was so aligned. And I paused and I was like, first of all, I just watched one of my own videos and I feel extremely proud. I feel really fulfilled. I feel really happy and like, yeah, just proud that I created that and posted that, and that's now out in the world, hopefully impacting people. The video didn't do super well either. It got like 900 views. But it hit me. It was like, that piece of content I feel like represents my soul. Like just the things I said, like that it felt so authentic and it felt so well made, and I was proud of it, and it felt really aligned with who I am as a person and the direction that I want to take, making videos and basically the kind of content I want to make and what I genuinely believe I'm bringing that's like unique. And like a different perspective, and I believe a much needed perspective, which I think a lot of young men probably share, but haven't had permission to own yet, because everyone's constantly been pulled in all these different directions. So I want to make more content that makes me feel like that makes me watch it a few months later and go, holy shit, I think I was onto something there. That was awesome. And it's not an arrogant thing. It's not like an egotistical thing of like, oh yeah, that video was fucking sick, I'm like so good. It's just that it's something that resonates with me, and I know would really deeply resonate with anyone who's kind of like me, and that's the kind of people I'm trying to reach. I'm trying to speak to and speak for the young men who don't want to be put in a box of any variety and want to just have that confidence in themselves to be able to like show up in the world as they are and be able to not feel wrong for saying, actually, all this stuff that you're telling me I should care about, I don't care about. And all this stuff that I do care about, I feel like no one really talks about. But I want to, be like a voice that speaks to those young men, and that needs to become the direction of my content. And the other pillar, the other aspect, is that if I don't talk about how God and faith and all of that side of things, which is a massive part of my life, if I don't talk about how that fits into the puzzle and how that really is, when you zoom out, the whole puzzle, and that is the most important thing, then I'm actually being dishonest. Because if I'm sitting there and I'm making a video about like focusing on building your character instead of just like superficial stuff, if I'm making a video about like relationships and dating and my take on that, and like giving my best advice around that, or whether it is like about one of those topics like masculinity and stuff that has a lot of, it's fucking retarded that you even have to say that's got like controversy around it, but whatever. Any of those topics, the most I want to think how to put this properly, because it's like such a key element, and the key element, like the main thing, that like the most, it's hard to articulate this, like the most important and impactful aspect of all of those different journeys, and then that collective journey for me, has been my faith and trying to build a relationship with Christ, and having, it just, all of that stuff like kind of came from God for me. And so if I don't talk about that and I don't speak about that, I genuinely believe I'm being not only just inauthentic, but dishonest. I've had this idea in my head of like, oh, I don't want to talk about my faith because there's people who just don't believe the same thing as me, and I don't want them to feel like it's just, you know what I mean? I want to be able to impact people who don't share my faith as well. But, you know, I think if the right person's watching a video who doesn't share your faith, then they'll kind of be mature and open-minded enough to be like, all right, cool, he's just talking about that for that section. That doesn't necessarily resonate with me, and still, you know, get the parts of the video that they can resonate with and get value from, and take that, and it still be worth their time. But yeah, I suppose it's something that I'm not gonna force, but if I'm naturally writing a script for a video and that intertwines perfectly with the topic, and I'm not gonna censor and filter myself for what I can and can't talk about. And if that is like, hey, this is actually the importance of having a relationship with Jesus Christ, then that's what I'm going to talk about. So I guess that's what's just in my mind right now. The other thing is, I had like a massive revelation the other day, because I was feeling really lost and really angry and frustrated and pissed off. It's 3 ways of saying the same thing, but different circumstances in my life. Like, for example, like I'm in a long distance relationship at the moment, and I was feeling so just mad about that I have this girl who I genuinely love with all of my heart, and who I have like such a beautiful relationship with, and who I value and adore so much. And she's on the other side of the world, and I haven't seen her in a year and a half. Not a year and a half, a year and 4 months and 2 weeks, if we're being specific about it. But like, that's just kind of crazy to me. Well, it very much was. Yesterday, I was just like, because I was missing her so much, and I felt like so fired up about that. I was just like, fuck this, like, you know what I mean? Like, why does this have to be so hard? And I was like saying that all to God. I was just letting it out a bit and just going like, why the fuck? Like, the person I love and care about and cherish and value and want the most is the one person in my life who I don't see in person if I so wanted to. You know what I mean? Like, you know, everyone else in my life, I can text them and within a week can meet up with them and see them, right? And so that was really pissing me off. And so I was like, okay. And I just asked God, I was like, I know that I'm speaking out of emotion here. And so I said, I was walking along the beach, and I was expressing all that, and I turned around, because I'd gotten to the end of the beach, and I started walking home, and it was probably going to be like a 30-minute walk home, and I said to God, by the time I get home, I believe that you will show me, and yeah, I believe that you will show me what it is you need me to know and understand. Essentially, God, before I get home, please give me an answer. And almost in that exact moment, something clicked. Not in my mind, in my spirit. And I just realized, holy shit, it's not about me. Right? Like, and that was I cannot explain, like, that was the, it sounds so simple and stupid for me as a 17-year-old to be sitting here admitting, like, up until yesterday, like, low-key, I had the underlying belief in my head that it was all about me. You know what I mean? It's like, that was my mental frame. Even if I would have logically been able to admit, like, of course it's not. On an embodied level, I hadn't fully understood that. And when that sort of, when I had that revelation, and that led to, like, by the way, like, that wasn't just one thought, that led to a chain of me realizing some fucking crazy important shit, and some stuff that just, honestly, it felt like there was a puzzle piece missing in my spirit and in my brain. In my relationship with my girlfriend, in my relationship with God, in my relationship with my own sort of self, which is fucking wanky to say, but you get me. And it was that. It just, that just clicked yesterday. And so many other things. I felt God sort of show me what I wasn't seeing, which was beautiful and awesome and a really powerful moment that really strengthened my faith. And I think will probably be, even in 10 years, I will probably look back on yesterday and see it as one of the greatest inflection points of my life, and one of the days where things changed. So I've been carrying with me a new sense of sort of understanding, a new sense of lightness. I felt like a weight lifted off, and I felt this sense of being grounded and more connected with God, more connected with my purpose, and more connected with truth. This has been a long video, but that's the two things that are super important that have just been on my mind. I'm super grateful for yesterday, and I'll probably talk more about that because I spent like 30 minutes after I got home from that walk just writing down everything, like that whole kind of stream of consciousness that just, I'm not even gonna say came out of my brain, but came from God into my spirit. And I just wrote all that down, like the most important sort of ideas that I feel like I was shown. And so I'll probably read over those, and I'll have more to say on that topic next time I make one of these little check-in videos or whatever, which hopefully is tomorrow. I want to be doing these daily, but I've been away at the moment on holidays, and so it hasn't worked out that way. But I also got to own it and take accountability for the fact I just haven't been super like focused and disciplined with that. But yeah, I think that's all I've got to say. But holy, I love this view. It's so like hazy and smoky for some reason. For some reason, like maybe there's a fire somewhere and smoke's getting blown up the coast. I don't know, but it's beautiful. I love it. I'm feeling so blessed.